Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Okay, so what has happened is I've actually gone ahead and played numerous hours since the last episode because it's kind of a slow-paced game, and it definitely is a slow-paced game, but I love it, absolutely love it. So what I'm going to do with these episodes instead, I will actually bring up an episode every, I don't know, week, couple of weeks or something like that, just kind of showing the progress of the city. I think that is the more interesting piece, because we are growing the city quite organically and slowly and so on. So let me tell you what I've been up to. So obviously you are aware that we did the university over here. We finished the dorm, and so we've got people actually being educated. Still only a number of people actually interested in working as professors over here. But what we've done is we've grown things a little bit. We've got a cinema over here now. And I'll get to some of the other stuff later. What I found is as your population grows, and we're up to about just over 3,000 now, you need to, if you want to sustain the construction industry and the development, you need numerous construction yards. So I've done 2 over here for this area. What I've also done, and then we'll get to the other side now. But what also happened is I started deciding, well, we need to make a little bit more money. So I went and saw, well, what is the stuff that we're importing most? So I saw food was one of those. So I opened up a food factory so that we make our own food. So meat is very low amounts of meat that we're importing. The next thing that I need to work on is making sure that we get coal and iron locally sourced, and that should then drop our import numbers quite significantly. But we are exporting a fair bit of steel at the moment, cement, alcohol and clothing, and that's giving us a fair bit of income, as well as a fair bit of steel and fabric to the Western countries, and that gives us a positive in terms of dollars. Okay, so as I've told, so I've developed a little interim town over here, Torlistuk. I think that's absolutely savaged it. But anyway, so I used to have just the farm here and the alcohol factory. I've added the food factory over here, and it has a lot of people working there. And I've also added a prefab factory because I've ramped up the construction industry quite a lot. So I'll show you a little bit about what's going on with that as well. So I found that busing people in to all areas becomes a bit of a problem. So instead I thought it better to just do little bits of little areas where people can actually live as well. So I started not inviting immigrants anymore because that costs money as well. So I just build these over here, and then I just kind of transfer people using that little button over there to these new buildings over here. And if in a popular area like this, they just kind of pop up, the population just kind of replenishes itself. And I'm not sure whether that means it's a homeless population, because that's the one thing that I can't actually find, is whether there's a homeless population. I can find unemployment, but I can't find a homeless population. And for that reason, I find it strange that if I move people over, they almost replenish immediately. So it kind of makes me think that there might be homeless people, because I don't actually see a spike in immigrants or anything like that. Okay, so that's this little area over here where we've got prefab, food and alcohol. And I've also made sure that we are now actually distributing this food to all of our grocery stores. The alcohol is being distributed to all of our pubs, as well as being exported. I'm not exporting food. The steel industry is doing well, but we are using a lot of steel because of the construction that we're doing everywhere. This area is still pretty much the same. And to be honest, at some point I may consider adding 1 or 2 apartment blocks here, just to make sure that we can more easily get the workers here. Busing them around is not necessarily the best thing. These are the the white elephant conveyor belts over here that doesn't do anything and cost me a lot of money. This is the other town. I finished the radio station, and so what I'm doing with the radio station, I'm upping our cultural enjoyment, because that's something that the people struggle with tremendously. I'm adding a bit of Soviet propaganda just to see if I can't reduce the number of people trying to escape, and I am doing a little bit of anti-religion propaganda, and the reason for that is because I can't actually make people happy by building churches. So what I need to do is get them to slowly get their religious sympathy down so that it doesn't impact their happiness as much. Let me quickly show you. I am actually getting escapes at the moment, but the number is going down, it seems, so I'm hoping that I can keep people happy. Okay, so from here I've also, you would see in this town, I also added a little bit of an extra construction yard over here, so this area is covered by construction as well. Now the big thing that I've done, and I'll show you the new stuff over here, is I've added rail, okay, and that is quite a challenge. So in order to add rail to the mix, so I built small stations here, and here, and over here in Chaosgrad. So all of these places are now connected by a rail, and we've just got one train, it's one small little train running between all of them, and it's not serving much of a purpose at the moment. But I am going to extend the line, and I'll show you that now. But I also want to start connecting up some of the big industry pieces, like the steel mill. I want to connect all the way to the border, and we need to ramp up production here quite substantially. I also want to use the rail to bring in coal ore and maybe iron ore and all kinds of things like that. So that's kind of the strategy over here. So rail needs to make its way into this area somehow. And so we will still develop that as we go. So what I needed to do, my first piece of rail, I actually built, I paid for to get it built it using rubles. But what I've done is now I've got a rail construction yard, and that's pretty cool. And a quick tip for you, don't keep feeding the rail construction yard, because it only has a little amount of space in here, and once you fill it up with something, there's no room for the others. So connect it onto an open storage straight away, and make sure that there's enough room for all your materials, otherwise construction stops. Okay, so now moving on to the next big major project that our glorious Soviet country is embarking upon, is a brand new town down here, and this is close to coal mining. So that's our first coal mine over there. And I'll quickly show you by going to the coal area. Oh, it doesn't show because I plopped one, but over here, what? There was tons. Is this coal or is this iron? Am I doing iron or coal here? Is it iron? Ah, it's iron. It's not coal. Sorry. It's the iron mining industry over here. See lots and lots of big chunks of iron. Okay, and let me just see, is this an iron mine? Yeah, this is an iron mine. This is just kind of for a minute there. Okay, and so what I did is I planned out an entire little town. It's got its old construction yard. I've already built the rail. We'll talk about, the rail station. We'll talk about the construction of the rail now. Just laid out the entire thing, and then slowly allocated construction yards from all over the map to come and assist in building this. So this new area, planned out little town that we're starting over here, I'm just building it from scratch, and it's just slowly being constructed, and it's taken some time to get to where it is now, and it's not even close to being finished. As you can see, this area still has no people in there. Once I finish it all, I'll start to transfer people from other parts of the map to come and live here, and we also get the iron industry up and running, and the rail nearby, so that we can start getting a rail to take iron ore over here, so that we can stop importing that piece. So yeah, all of that doesn't do anything, as you know. Okay, over here is our construction, and let me switch it on. Our construction of the rail, so that this rail construction office houses this thing, and it goes back and forth on the rail to go and collect the resources, and then it comes and builds it over here. So as you can see, so that's just a slow paced way that it is actually just building the entire piece of rail. So eventually this will finish the construction all the way over here. Then we'll probably look into doubling the rail, especially if we're going to try and get our resources to these factories over here, because we're going to run and operate a passenger rail at the same time, so that we can get rid of a lot of these buses that's currently running back and forth between some of these places. Okay, over here I've plopped in a few more places, and so what I found is, while this is a very good way to kind of start a town, the town just naturally starts to grow around places that needs workers, or you have to kind of naturally grow it around places that needs workers. So I've plopped some residential pieces, and then of course the residential guys need some grocery stores, and etc, etc, etc. Over here, which is just our basics, and what we'll do is we'll probably grow in this area. The other thing that I want to do here is start the meat industry, and so on. So there's a lot of little things that we want to do. I also want to make sure that we properly export things. So potentially, because this is such a closer route than going all the way around, and let's quickly show the wireframe so you can see this hilly terrain over here. So this is a bit of a mountain that we've got, and we're going all the way around the mountain all the time. I'll switch that off, and now it's nice and dark, so you probably can't see anything. So at some point I probably need to tunnel through this, both road and rail, and so I'll have a bit of a look at how we do that. But yeah, probably a massive project or undertaking to tunnel through here, but I'm quite keen on doing that and seeing how that works. So yeah, I think the piece that I so love about this game is how you're just slowly progressing, building everything, little bits and pieces being plopped in over there. Our little town, see, here comes some bricks being unloaded over here. We've got workers on site because they're being bussed in. I think these are the boards, and we're also waiting on some steel to come in. We've got some road projects going on over here, and it's just all slowly happening. And as the roads pieces, so the thing to watch out for is all of these little things, and the roads and so on, means that access to various buildings is a bit of an issue. More bricks arriving, and here comes the steel, so we'll see some construction happening, but we only have like 4 workers on site, so the construction will, oh, now it's only 1. So because this area is quite far away, at least there's a crane coming in, so construction will continue. Because this area is quite far away, it does take a long time to construct. Constructing things over here is much quicker because it's quick and easy for these vehicles to maneuver back and forth, and here you can see some road construction opening and so on. The other element obviously that's requiring a lot of travel is to come all the way over here to pick up boards, over here to pick up prefab, concrete, asphalt, over here for steel. And so what we probably need to look into is, as we move things along, we should use some open storages. And I'm just thinking, this area, if we potentially replace this with a nice big open storage, we can put some dedicated routes to bring things closer. And that means construction over here will be much quicker. So it's something that I probably should consider doing. So yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, another quick tip is, when you put vehicles into your construction yards, avoid this. Well, the smaller vehicles are good for like little dumpers, because they can run quickly, 90 k's an hour or something like that. There they go, off going to go and get them stuff. But your open hull trucks, right, are also used to carry these, can also be used to carry these slow moving implements like the paver, the bulldozer, and the roller, which is over here, that little tractor like thing over there. And it's better not to use these small ones, but to instead use, and they're not here, they're out for collections. Where are they? I want to show you which ones I'm using. Ones that are bigger, right? That one, like this one over there. This one bringing in the bricks over here. Something like that. It's a little slower. I think this one actually does go at 80 k's or something like that. Well, now it's only, well, it does go up to about 70 or 80. And they can actually carry all of these things. All of them. So all of them that I have, at least. So it's a good thing to do. And by the way, what I'm going to actually do, I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to get rid of these open holes. So let me sell these open hulls, and yeah, that's my primary the vehicles is my primary purchasing at the moment, so that's what costs me money. So I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to go for open hull, and I'm keen on grabbing these guys. They go at only 62. Oh no, those ones 88, and this can do really big ones. Yeah, maybe I'll do this instead. I don't mind it being a little bit slower. So let me do the 2 open hulls over there. So if we've got them, they can now at least run these guys around. Okay, the dumpers, they don't actually move the vehicles around, so the dumpers can be a little smaller, but quicker. And typically the stuff that the dumpers bring, gravel and gravel and asphalt, is used much more frequently. Over here is our road construction going on over here. So you can see things just kind of naturally happen over here. Over this side, because things are so far away, you kind of have to assign the further away construction yards to actually work there. So this guy is still busy on the fire station. I think this one isn't doing anything. So what I'll do is I'll assign a piece of construction work to this guy. Let me see. So the fire station is underway, so I'm not going to add extra effort to it. So the problem that we have now is we've got little tiny slithers of road that needs to be constructed before we can get to places that actually give us access to more buildings. So what I'll do is I'll just get this guy to come and construct this little piece over there. All of the help is appreciated. Obviously that they drive a long way to get here, and especially the implements can be quite problematic. So what I'll do as well, I'm going to quickly change the open hull trucks we've got. Let's pause it before stuff gets crazy. Which are the open hulls that I have? We've got the CAS open hulls, and I just wanted to see they can load fairly large vehicles actually, but for some reason I hardly ever see them loading the vehicles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these open hulls, these ones. So let's get rid of them. Thank you. Get rid of the CAS guys. That's a dumper. We'll get rid of that one. I actually want to get rid of this one, as these dumpers as well. I'd rather we have the smaller and the quicker ones, so we'll get rid of all of those. With the crane, I don't need that. That's just another, we can just do another open hull. So let's get rid of that guy as well, and they're all pretty pricey. So over here, so we've got our mixers. That's okay. I don't mind these mixers. They're pretty good. They bring a lot. A roller. The one thing we don't have here is we've got a bus, we've got an excavator, we've got a crane. Let me working for, is the crane out somewhere? No, the crane is here, right? The crane is here. Let's get rid of the crane, and I'll replace the crane as well. These I can't replace with anything better. Let's quickly have a look. So let's start with the open hulls. I at least need 2 of them, and I'm thinking this guy, because they I know can carry most of our implements. So what we'll do is we'll grab 2 of these open hulls. I'm going to get a roller as well. Oh no, we've got a roller. Sorry, I want a paver. I'm going to grab a paver. And the other thing is we need dumpers. So now we need dumpers. And what I'm currently using is like these. No, not those guys. Is these JE300s, because they're pretty quick. Is there anything else that is better for us? 80Ks at 9 tons, but they're pretty pricey. These is 90Ks, and it's only 6 tons. They bring 7 tons around. So I think these are pretty good at their price actually. So that's the CAS ones. I like the CAS ones because they carry a lot, but they're so slow. I'd rather have something at 90Ks an hour, to be honest. 90Ks at 7 tons is not bad, and I'll rather have a few more. So we'll do 2 of those. Dumpers is probably used a little bit more than anything else, so maybe a 3rd dumper is not too bad, or an extra bus could also be quite useful, especially if we're working so far away. So maybe let's have a quick look and grab an extra bus, something that is pretty quick, Yeah, something like that is pretty good. I like these. They work really well. So we'll add an extra bus in there. So we've re-kitted that piece a little bit. Excellent. And over here, I'm not gonna do all of that right now. Actually, let's just do all of them, and I'll show you how I do that, and then we'll kind of end the episode. So these CAS dumpers are too slow, so I'm gonna get rid of all of them. Thank you. Thank you. I want to kind of standardize my fleet a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfectly standardized, but standardizing them a little bit is quite helpful. Oh, I didn't get a crane. I didn't get a crane over here. That's a bit of an issue. So actually, I am going to get rid of what exactly? The extra bus? Is the bus doing anything? No, it's not. So let's get rid of the bus. I've got a bus already. What I want to do is actually just get a crane. And the question is, I've never used the tower cranes. They obviously have to be taken out to site. So what I'm do, I might grab a tower crane instead. And at 9 tons, they should quite easily fit onto these big boys. So I want to keep an eye on that. So let's grab ourselves a nice big tower crane. Let's get a tower crane in there and see if we can move the tower crane around. The road crane, I don't know. We'll see if that does do anything. Okay, now this side over here, I've got the crane, I've got the mixers, all of that stuff. 2 buses. Okay, now what we need to do is grab ourselves some open holes, and I'm going to go with the open holes that I'm using. 1, 2 open holes. Because we've got a lot of implements, so they don't have a roller over here. We've got 2 buses though, and then the other one that I need is some dumpers. So let's get our JE dumpers over here. So the question is, do we replace one of the buses with a roller? And I don't think so. I think it's fine to just have the one roller. I think the other types of construction projects might be better. Okay, so that's fine. So that's what we've done. So let's see how all of this is interacting. This thing has some work that it's doing. This one is some work that it's doing. I'm hoping to see its vehicles making its move. It doesn't actually seem to be doing anything as it stands. Let's take that off, and what I'll do is we'll reassign that. I think there might be a bit of a glitch there. Can I assign you over here? And then what I want to see is if they immediately jump into action. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know. Do you? They can get access there. You can actually specialize by saying which kind of projects they should be taking on and which they should not be taking on. So I'm not sure why it's not doing anything now, but yeah, there they go. There they go. Maybe they were waiting for a delivery to get out to site. So there goes my implement. So that's much quicker than having that guy drive there. I know it's only 60 k's an hour that this guy's doing. Let's quickly monitor his speed. He gets up to around, yeah, well, that's the road this operates 70, gets up to about 70, 75, which is more than I thought. But anyway, so he's on his way there. The bus is picking up people and moving them to the construction area as well. So that's pretty cool. So I think all that was happening is they were waiting on the delivery of gravel before they sent out the implement. So that's it. Really, that is how I'm doing it. So what I'll do is now I'll continue the game, and I will expand over here and expand over here, get our iron and probably coal operation up and running, get our train to work a little bit better, probably beef up our production of steel and our exports. So that we can get that looks a little bit better. But obviously we've purchased a lot of vehicles now. But even with vehicle purchases, no, those vehicle purchases. See, if we forget about the vehicle purchases, which obviously doesn't happen every month, we're actually breaking even on the rubles. But I wouldn't mind getting that number to work much better. Our import resources is going up. I think that's just because of the steel industry at the moment. Our exports are pretty healthy at the moment, so that's good. That is good. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Tell me what you think of this. Do you just want to see how we naturally grow? Is there anything you want to see in a little bit more detail? There's not a lot of guidance in terms of how to play this game out there. Obviously made some big mistakes over here, but I think we're recovering and our money doesn't look too bad. And our towns are growing nicely and our production is popping up and so on. So tell me what you think. Is there anything in this game that you would like to see? You know, is there something you need some help with? And bear in mind, I'm no expert, but I will try and give you the advice or of the lessons that I've learned thus far. I really enjoy this game because unlike other city builders where you just plop stuff down, it takes a long time for big construction projects to finish off. So it's a slow and natural growth, and you literally fill in areas with things that you need because of travel distances and things like that, which in other city builders you typically don't have that much of. So really I love the natural growth that's occurring. Obviously we started out with this being our bustling metropolis and ended up that actually Trirov over here is probably our center town due to the fact that we're now expanding into this area to get to the resources. So naturally this town is going to grow much bigger and faster than what we're doing over here. But anyway, this is growing, and these two towns here are actually merging together and things like that, and I just love seeing how that works. And you know, I haven't planned the rail properly, so now I'm gonna have to squeeze some stuff in here and all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm quite keen on doing that, but I'll spend plenty more hours on this, and I'll just give you some updates every now and again of what has happened. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.